guys, in today's live session, I'm going to be teaching us on how to perform bank reconciliation statements in Sage 50. But before you watch the video, alright, are you yet to subscribe to this channel? Click the button below to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Reconciliation is coming into play. It is because of the differences. Remember, the differences are being caused by unpresented checks, uncredited checks, direct credits, direct debits, standing order, dishonored checks, etc., etc., etc. Now, when these differences now occur, at the end of the month, you have picked your bank statement, you request for the bank statement, and here you are with your cash book. You are checking both balances. You are seeing that this one is different from this, and this one is different from this. That is where reconciliation comes in. Every accountant is expected to do this at regular intervals. It is possible to do it on daily basis. It is possible to do it on weekly basis. It is possible to do it on monthly basis. All right. So on monthly basis is quite better, at least to give you the chance to be able to give a doubting mind to other transactions. For example, a transaction that did not hit the account or has not cleared at the early stage of the month, let's say first, second, third, fourth, fifth, if you wait till the end of the month, they might have cleared, all right? And you might not need to adjust anything because it has cleared, all right? So monthly basis is still better. However, daily basis can also be achievable. So that brings us to bank reconciliation. Bank reconciliation is a process of bringing into agreement the differences or discrepancies between the cash book balance and the what? And the bank balance. All right. And to do that in Sage 50 accounting software, the first thing we would need to do is, okay, let's see. Okay, so the first thing is to compare the bank statement and the cash book. When you are comparing the bank statement and the cash book, without wasting much of your time, the first thing to go and pinpoint is there any direct credit? That is some amount of money which the customer must have paid into our bank account without our knowledge. And if it is without our knowledge, it means that we did not record it. Are we together? If it is without our knowledge, it simply means that we did not record it. So the first thing, let's check the credit side of the bank.
We can see receipt from models.
15 million naira.
15 million naira. Good. So 15 million naira came in. That is like the startup capital for this particular business. And we saw it there, right? Now, from the cash book that you have, you are going to check. Are you here?
Yeah.
There is 15 million naira there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, 15 million naira was debited in the cash book because the money entered, right? That is what we used as our opening balance. So it's being debited in the cash book. While in the bank statement is credited, that is, it entered the bank statement. That's fine. The next transaction we want to look at here is 1,600,000. Can you see it?
Yes.
So there's 1,620,000 in the bank statement, but is it in the cash book?
Received from the cash book.
Yes, received from Better Pay, 1,620,000. Now check the cash.
No, it's not in the cash.
It's not in the cash book. That's one direct credit, 1,620,000. Are we together?
Yeah.
So
yes, sir. Yes.
That's one direct credit. All right. Now the next transaction we want to check is 1,152,000. Can we find it in the cash book, the debit side?
Yes. Yes.
It's there, right? So that one is cleared. That one is cleared. The next transaction is 172,000 naira. Can we find it in the debit side of the cash book?
No, it's not there.
It's not there, right? Okay, so because
Yes.
we
Yes,
cannot
sir.
find it on the debit side of the cash book, it simply means it is a direct credit. That is, a customer must have paid it directly into our bank account, or any other person just paid money into our account without our knowledge. So we didn't record it. So we have two direct credits. Is there any figure again in the credit side of the bank statement? No, right? So that's all
Yeah.
for the
Yes,
credit
sir.
side. So before doing anything, we want to go and adjust our cash book. We want to go and what? Adjust our cash book. And to adjust our cash book, we are going to do it on the software, because it is a software that we have been using to record our transactions. Are we together? It is a software that we are using to record our transactions. So we would go now and check who is still owing us money and who is not owing us money. To do this, it is very simple. We can just go straight to receipts. You go to task on the software. When you go to tax, you click on receipts. So when you click on receipts, the first thing you want to do is to select the customer. You just check who is still owing us money. With these figures that you have seen, you should be able to recollect that who did you sell to that is yet to pay. Anyways, we can do that because we don't have much customers here. Let me just check. The first customer I have here is Better Pay. If I click on Better Pay, can you see what happens? Let me not even start with that. It's like that Better Pay is one that is owing us. So let me click on Rocket Pay. These are the customers that we have here on the system. Rocket Pay, once you click on it, any amount that customer is owing you will show up automatically. All right. But Rocket Pay, no figure showed up, meaning this guy is not owing us any money, that it should have been the one to pay such amount into our bank account. Are we together? We'll check another one. We have Amstar. Okay, can we see what is happening here? Amstar is owing us 1,710,000, but it doesn't look like it is the figure we are looking for. Does it look like it? Does it look like it? It doesn't look like it. So let's check if there is another customer that, because transactions are being recorded by receipts, the invoices is going to carry the exact amount or not, except there is an error. So let's click on Better Pay. If you see, oh, fantastic. So Better Pay, can you see that Better Pay is owing us how much here? If you can see my screen, please speak to me.
Better Pay is owing on
Yes.
172,000
172,000 and
and
1,620,000.
1,620,000.
So it simply means that this payment must have come in from who? From Better Pay. Are we together? So the next thing we want to do, without wasting much of our time, is to collect this money so that it will be recorded in our what? In our cash book straight that we have collected this money. And to do this, we have deposit tickets. That is not very significant. We have reference. Reference is very important, especially when we want to recall back this transaction. All right. So we can just put reference 1. Okay. So this is end of the month where we want to do our reconciliation. So we have to change this date to the end of the month. This is a July account. So let's change it to somewhere around 30th. All right. So we have collected this money. Now, how did this guy pay? Is the payment method. Let's say the guy did transfer. Yes, that was what he did, because we didn't even know, and he didn't even tell us anything. Transfer. We just type it there, transfer. Okay. So the next thing you want to do, see by this side, this cash account. Can you see where my cursor is? You would see the cash account that was used. This cash account, there might be different bank accounts in the company. They might be using more than 2 banks. So you have to select the exact bank that this money was paid into. In this case, it is Access Bank. All right. So I've selected Access Bank. So now that I've selected Access Bank, the next thing I want to do is to go and collect this money. The guy paid the whole money he paid 172 and he paid 1,620,000. So to pay this amount of money without removing any discounts, so we have description, we have discounts, we have amounts paid, and we have this pay. Let me explain the difference. Now, when there is a discount, probably, or the guy did not pay the full amount of money and you want to collect just a fraction of it, you can enter the amount here. Let's say he's paying 150,000. I'll type it in the amount paid and I'll tab. Now it has recorded, it will pick 150,000. We don't even know, maybe there's a discount, but that's what is paying at the moment. But that is not the case, right? The guy paid the whole amount. Are we together? The guy paid the whole amount. So he paid 172 and he paid 1,620,000. So I'm going to tick. Immediately I tick this pay, is going to pick the total amount at once. Are we together? It's going to pick the total amount at once. All right. So once it picks that, the next thing I want to do is to click on save. Okay. Now the system is warning me. Can you see what it's saying? It's saying that that reference number has already been entered for this customer. So we are going to change a reference number. Let's pick number 4 and I'll click on save. Do you understand? Now, what I have just done now, I have gone to adjust my cash book in relation to the what? In relation to the transactions, to the direct credits that entered into the bank. Now that I have done that, now let me quickly view what's it called? The bank, the cash book again. To do this, I'll just go to I want to go to financial statement. I want to check the balance sheet. Okay, so now see the balance. Can you see the balance on the access bank? It has increased to how much now?
$10,296,000.
10,296,000. That amount has increased. So if we check the debit side now of, the cash book, you will see that that money has been recognized. You see that that money has been recognized. You might be wondering that it's not separated. We took the two money at the same time, in the same day, with the same receipts. Do you understand? Which is on the 30th. That is what amounted to this 1.792. Are we together? So now that we have been able to adjust our cash book, the next thing we want to do is to go and reconcile. The next we want to do is to go and what? Is to go and reconcile. Now that you have adjusted your cash books, now how do we reconcile these items? Now, what we would need to do is to go to when you want to,
sorry, before you close it, sir.
okay.
Sorry,
Somebody's
before you
asking a
close,
question.
the software.
Hello? Are you here? Are you here? All right, I think he's all right. So now that we have adjusted our cash book, the next thing we want to do is to go and what? Is to go and reconcile. To reconcile, you would go to task, right? You go to task. Now, when you go to task, you will go to account reconciliation. It is down. Can you see I'm scrolling down? I'm scrolling down. Can you see account reconciliation here? So when you get to account reconciliation, you click it. When you click on account reconciliation, the next thing you want to do is, you see this account to reconcile. Account to reconcile. You have to select using this search icon. Which account do you want to reconcile? Of course, what is our concern here is bank reconciliation. So I'm going to select the bank account here, which is what? Access Bank. Now, immediately you select it, all the transactions that have happened for that period will show up. All right? All the transactions that have happened for that period will show up. Now we can see we have the first column here, we have the status, followed by the reference, followed by the deposits or bank credits. This side is the money that entered into our bank accounts. All right? Then followed by the check stroke bank debits. This column is used to record the money that left our bank account. Okay, so this is the date the transaction happened, and this is the payee or description as the case is. So the next thing we want to do, after you have opened this place, you pick your bank statement. Right now, I need you to be looking at your bank statements. The bank statement I sent to you, you have to be looking at. Are you with your bank statements? Because I need you to be seeing my face now. Hello?
Yeah, you can.
All right, fantastic. You can hear me, right? So now, you are holding your bank statement in your hands, and you are trying to reconcile the cash book on the software, on the system. So now this thing that I'm teaching you is the same thing with every other software. It's the same thing with QuickBooks. The same thing with, so you have to pay attention very well. There is nothing like once you understand the process, you understand it. So we have now come to this place. I've selected the bank account. The next thing I want to do is this. The next thing I want to do, you go down, see the arrow. There's an arrow here. Let me move this thing down. Let me try and move it. It's not moving. All right, so there is an arrow here. Fantastic. Can you see this arrow? You click on this arrow. When you click on this arrow, it's going to display some small boxes. All right, it's going to display some small boxes. The first box that we can see here is interest income. Now, there is what we call interest income. That can be likened to a direct credit as well. Direct credit is an amount that the bank just pays into your account. That can be linked to that, but the real meaning is an interest income. And what it means is that is the income that you get for keeping your money with the bank for a period of time. All right, let's say you don't touch an amount of money for a period of time. There is an interest that is added to it. All right, there's an interest that's been added to it. That's interest income. But in the bank statement, we don't have any interest income. So you will check in the credit side of the bank statement, is there any interest income? There is no interest income. That is not a bank charge. So we'll move on. The next thing we want to check is the date. When are we reconciling? You have to be particular about when you are recording. You have to be what? Particular about when you are reconciling. I'm reconciling July 31st, 2024, which is the month that just passed. All right. So I'm going to click here to select it. This is the month end. Fantastic. Now, which accounts, if there was an interest income, I would have selected the account to record that interest income. Of course, that account is an income account, but there is no interest income, so we are done with that. The next thing I want to look at is service charge. When we talk about service charge, we are talking about all the charges that the bank has charged you. Let's put it as such. Yes, the bank charges, the maintenance, whatever, and so on and so forth. This is where we are going to record it. And we would select the account to which we are going to use to record it. So the first thing we want to do now is to add up all we have, all the charges in the debit side of the cash book, of the bank statements. Now, what are the charges on the debit side of the bank statement? The first amount that I can see, which is a bank charge, is what? Is 2,510.17 naira. Am I correct? Am I correct? Are we here? Are we here? 2,510.17. That is one charges. Another charge I can see is 152.12. And the last charge, which is monthly maintenance fee, is 4,520.15. 4,520.15. So somebody should add up those three figures for us. 2,510.17 plus 152.12 plus 4,520.15. Please add up that figure and give it to us. Let's be sure that we are fooling ourselves. I'm waiting. Please, what did you get? What did you get? Nobody's talking. Huh? 2,510.17 plus 152.12 plus 4,520.15. Those are the bank charges that I picked from the debit side of the bank statement. So what is the total?
7,182 naira point 44.
Perfect. So that is the total, 7,182.44. So that is what we are going to put in this service charge. All right. So you put it in this service charge, 7,182.44. After we have done that, the next thing we want to select which account should we record the bank charges. You select the account. Of course, that should be a bank charges account. That should be a bank charges account. Let me check. And it is an expense account. I hope we have it. And if we don't have it, then we would need to create it. Is there a bank charges here? There is no bank charges. Oh, no. Okay. There is no bank charges. Okay, so this is what I would do. I'll just link it up to another account. I will correct it later because I don't want to cut off. Okay, so I've linked it up there. The account that I linked it up is also an expense account. All right, so I'll just correct that. Now, once you have linked it to bank charges, the next thing is the statement ending balance. You are going to enter the ending balance. Now, check this bank statement. Check the bank statements. Check the bank statements. What is the closing balance? What is the closing balance on the bank statement?
148,000 naira.
No, closing balance on the bank statements. Bank statements.
8,636,817 naira 0.56.
Yes, that is the closing balance. Now, the balance is the last column on the bank statement. The one I sent that has Brainy Books as watermark. 8,636,817.56. That is the balance in the bank statement. All right, that is the balance in the bank statement. Now that we have done that, the next thing to do is to go and select all the transactions that have cleared in the bank accounts. All the transactions that have cleared in the bank account. This is where you will now be thinking about unpresented checks, uncredited checks. Of course, if there is an unpresented checks, you will not tick it. Any transaction that have cleared, you see these small boxes where my mouse pointer is, these small boxes by the left, that's where you will tick all the accounts that have cleared. And that is what we are going to use to reconcile. At the end of the day, what we are looking at is that our balance should remain zero. Our balance should do what? Should remain zero. But here we still have unreconciled differences, which is about 8,644,000. So we are getting there. So now what are the figures that have cleared? We don't need anybody to tell us that we saw 15 million naira. The amount we used to start up, it cleared, right? That is, when I say it cleared, I mean it entered the bank or left the bank. Do you understand? So 15 million naira cleared. The next thing that we are seeing there is 2 million naira. 2 million naira, they declare in the bank statement. 2 million naira, I can't see any 2 million naira. Can you see any 2 million naira? This is 2 million naira. That is, it entered the bank, but it did not enter our own cash book. It did not clear, right? That's by the way. Let's leave that. The next one is 1,152. 1,152. I can see 1,152 in the bank statements at the credit side, 1,152. So I'll tick on it. Okay. The next one is 1,792. This 1,792, don't forget this transaction that we went to adjust in the cash book. It is the addition of 1,620. Remember that transaction now? 1,620,000 plus 172,000. That was what gave us this 1,792. So the money has cleared now because we have adjusted that. Are we together? Now, what is remaining? Look at the debit side of the bank of the cash book. That's the bank debits. Let's check. We have 9,050. Can you see 9,050 on the debit side of the statement? We can see that's the very first figure on the debit side of the bank statement. So we are going to tick it. It has cleared. All right. The next is 200,000. 200,000. 200,000. 200,000 left our cash book. We don't even know what it is for, but we are going to check it. 200,000 left our cash, but it did not leave the bank statement. That is, we can't find it at the debit side of the bank statement. So we are going to leave it because it has not cleared. All right. Now, on your unpresented checks or your uncredited checks, you don't need to go and adjust that in your cash book. Do you know why? Because the following month it might clear. It's possible that first week of the following month it might clear. Probably the bank people forgot, or the person that you gave money to go and collect or you transferred to that did not enter. The following month the money might enter. So you don't need to remove from the cash book first. The only adjustment that I advise that you do is that direct credit, that we know that a customer must have paid this money, so we have to go and adjust that. All right. So that is for that. So I'm going to leave 200,000. 250,000 also. Okay, 250,000 cleared because it is a payment that was made for diesel. So it cleared. Can you see it? It's on the debit side of the bank statements. It cleared. 250. Sorry, I take 200,000. So it's 250,000 that cleared. Okay. So the next transaction that I want to look at is 148,000. Did 148,000 clear? I cannot see 148,000 anywhere in the bank statements. So it means it did not clear. It means it did not clear. So if you watch very well, look at this unreconciled difference. This place that my mouse pointer is. Remember that time it was about 8 point something million naira. Right now, what is it showing? It's showing what? Zero. Can you tell me? I want to hear it zero if you can see my screen. What is it showing?
Showing 0.
It's showing zero. This simply means that you have reconciled this account. All right. It simply means that you have successfully reconciled this account. Okay. So the next thing you want to do now is to click on OK. Once you click on OK, the bank balance and the cash balance, I'm going to show you how to go and retrieve your report. That is to see the result of what you have done. To do this, you go to reports and forms. So when you get to report and forms, you are going to look for account reconciliation. So this is account reconciliation. I'll click on it. Once you click on account reconciliation, this is the list of drop down. Click on account reconciliation again, and you would see what you have just done. All right. So you would see the analysis of everything you did. You see that at a glance, you see that a 2 million naira is still outstanding to be paid into your bank account. So this is what you need to follow up with the bank on, right? You need to follow up with the bank on this. And you also need to look at this unreconciled difference. It is now zero. So there's nothing to reconcile again until the following month. Okay, so this is a simple, easy peasy process of reconciling your bank balance and your cash book balance. I hope you found it very, 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 very educating. If you did, kindly click on the subscribe button below. Subscribe, comment, like, and share for more videos. Thank you. Bye for now.